tech we've had. Last year, we were just talking about sleep tracking, and now we're focused on better sleep and achieving, and how are we going to achieve that better sleep? This next session addresses just that. I'd like to first invite Liat Ben-Zor, the Senior Vice President and Digital Technology Leader from Philips, to kick off this session. Let's welcome her to the Digital Health Summit stage. Thank you.
So good afternoon. I'm excited to be here to kick off the Digital Health Summit and talk about the advancements of sleep. Sleep, like nutrition and exercise, plays a really critical role in our health and ensuring that we can be the best that we can be every single day. Studies show that sleep actually plays an important role in our immune system, in our hormone functions, in our metabolism, and in our cardiovascular health. Now, a chronic lack of sleep has been shown to result in increased anxiety, depression, mental distress, and the latest research actually shows that a chronic lack of sleep may have a bigger impact on your mental state than even on your body. So we all know that not getting enough sleep, So we all know that not getting enough sleep or enough good quality sleep can keep us from being at our mental best. Being sleepy or unfocused impacts all aspects of our daily life. For example, if you're at CES and it's Vegas and you don't get any sleep, it could impact your ability to remember your speech. Or also, it could impact your ability to get the most out of your job. It could impact your ability to remember to get the dry cleaning, how to pay the bills online, even the smallest things. Now, why we sleep is still an evolving area of research. But what we do know is that when we can't sleep, it affects our physical, emotional, and our mental abilities. But in today's fast-paced world, with all of these connected products around us 24/7, always on, and if you're here at CES, you might have had to search very, very hard, but you might have potentially seen one or two of these connected products. Well, with this ever-growing, constantly on technology, the demands of our careers, the need to take care of our children, the need to take care of our parents, and sometimes even both, sometimes it can feel like life never slows down. And while much of the guidance and advice that we're reading these days would suggest that technology is the reason that we are not sleeping, at Philips, we believe that technology may actually be the key to unlocking better quality sleep. And what if I told you that a technology already exists today that brings together the Internet of Things, sensors, data analytics, that will enhance the quality of your sleep without you needing to sleep longer? There's a lot of excitement in this room. There we go, thank you. Usually like to engage maybe it's the theme of the topic, I don't know. So getting 7 to 9 hours of shut-eye per night is what is recommended for adults by the National Sleep Foundation. Yet the Center of Disease Control, the CDC, says that 40% of people age 18 to 54 don't get anywhere near that. That is a huge, huge number. The quality of our slumber is also very important. And scientists know that deep sleep, which is also known as slow wave sleep, is a crucial part of us being able to reset our brains in order to take on the following day. Research have provided some evidence that slow wave sleep is the time that enables the brain to perform the essential functions of consolidating memories, or in other words, turning your short-term memory into long-term memory. It's during that slow wave phase that the brain starts to consolidate all the data that you've collected during the day and selects which data is going to be merged with what's already in your brain. And in that same process, your brain also figures out what extraneous data it can get rid of to make space so you can take in all of the sensory and new information that will bring the following day. So a good night's sleep really does make a difference in how you perform at work, how you perform at school, when driving a car, taking care of children, or anything that requires you to stay alert. And that might be why millions of people today are looking for ways to improve their sleep. Again, as you might have noticed on the show floor of CES, more than one company is in this space. In fact, I think 2018 is the year of sleep for CES. It's incredible how many companies are suddenly in this market. Now, most of these companies are doing a very good job at helping to track our sleep, record our sleep, understand our sleep patterns, and present that to us in very interesting and beautiful ways. But they're merely tracking the information, and then they rely on consumers to figure out how to remedy the problems or sleep deprivation on their own. That is until now. I think we live in extremely interesting times where we're able to bring together connected technologies and healthcare and offer opportunities to radically disrupt how we think about healthcare today and empower consumers to really take control of their own health. Philips considers ourselves at the forefront of this digital health transformation, and we try to use the latest in cutting-edge health technologies, data analytics, IoT, along with our world-class design capabilities in order to drive these types of innovations. We believe that digital platforms and connected solutions are really at the heart of enabling consumers to have better data-driven insights so that they can take control of their own health. And Philips' growing ecosystem of sleep solutions is rooted in nearly 40 years of clinical expertise in sleep technology. Today, we're trying to continue to drive this vision to make good sleep accessible for everybody by connecting our daily living with very deep-rooted sleep science. To date, we have collected over 2.6 billion nights of sleep data from over 5 million connected sleep therapy solutions. And by pairing that legacy of sleep data with new consumer research, clinical testing, IoT, patient monitoring expertise, and data analytics, we were able to develop the solution that you are about to see for the first time here at CES. Yeah. All this talk about sleep woke you guys up. Good. So researchers now believe that pairing sleep tracking with certain interventions during slow wave sleep can actually tap into the brain's restorative process at the right time and enhance it. So based on that existing research and our own market studies, our own clinical tests, Philips has been able to determine the essential elements for a consumer device that uses tones, audio tones, to enhance your sleep. We turn this into a new innovation called Smart Sleep, which builds on our leadership and all of that 2.6 billion nights of sleep data that we've collected. Smart Sleep is the world's first and only clinically proven wearable solution that improves your sleep quality for consumers who are not getting enough sleep. Not just collecting data, not just tracking in real time, but adjusting the quality of your sleep while you sleep. I think this really showcases that we're uniquely positioned to combine our clinical know-how and superb consumer experiences together for these types of innovations. And with that, I'm very pleased to hand it over to our panel of sleep experts, behavioral experts, and one sleep-deprived consumer to talk to us about the intersection where new technology, better sleep, and better health collide. Come on up.
Wow, the mic is on. I didn't even know that. Well, hi everyone. How you guys doing? Good. I'm Dr. Raj. I'm from the TV show The Doctors, and when I'm not playing a doctor, I'm from the University of Southern California. I'm a pulmonary sleep doc. Thank you, and I'm super jazzed to be here, and I got this awesome panel to talk about this great new technology. So, who wants to get the first crack? Mark, are you game on?
I'm on.
All right, let's do this. So, when patients come to me, they always will have their sleep problems. I personally put sleep into two categories: quantity, and my second favorite cue, quality. And I think we beat to a dead horse that we know the quantity of sleep, 7 to 8 hours, American Academy of Sleep Medicine. But what about the person who gets the right quantity? What is good quality sleep, Mark? Tell me.
So it's a great question. In quality, there's a scientific answer and there's a consumer answer.
Right.
So I'm going to go with the science first.
Okay.
So sleep is defined by EEG, and quality has to do with quantity, but also a contiguous period of sleep going through the right stages of sleep. Going from light sleep, when you rest with your eyes closed, you create alpha waves from your brain.
Right.
Unless, of course, you're a Buddhist monk. You can do that with your eyes open. And then you go through different stages of sleep, like REM sleep. People think of that as deep sleep. That's dreaming sleep. And with regard to EEG, that's pretty close to resting with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
So it's close to wakefulness.
Right.
But then you get into this deep sleep that's really our target. That's the restful, rejuvenative sleep. Now, the personal response you can get from a consumer.
Now, let me jump into the meat of this.
Yeah.
I think someone already mentioned the word smart sleep. So I actually got a chance to use this device. And before we hear more about it, when I got this device, it seemed like something from The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, I'm going to put it up to my thing. I'm going to be a Borg or something like that. We need some clarification for the audience, some clarification for the consumer. Tell me, what is, in layman's terms, that's the key word, layman's terms, what is smart sleep? How do I describe it to my patients?
Smart sleep is a device that is designed to increase slow wave activity. Slow wave activity is a fundamental neural function in the brain, and we know a lot about the biology. It's hinged on what is currently the most up-to-date, or at least the most believed theory about why we sleep.
Okay.
And a lot of that happens during slow wave sleep. It's clearly the most restorative stage of sleep. So conceptually, if you can increase slow wave activity over and above the baseline that somebody has, you can make these neurobiological events happen quicker and more efficiently.
Okay.
So if by using simple tones, we can amplify the size of the slow waves, we can amplify the number of the slow waves, then in theory, people who are not getting enough sleep, we're not talking about sleep disorders here, we're talking about people that volitionally do not get enough sleep. Not that the idea you can't sleep 7 hours if you only spend 6 hours in bed. And I'm not talking about people who spend 8 hours in bed and can't sleep but 6. We're saying if you don't give yourself the right sleep opportunity, then by the application of these tones, very precisely timed, we're monitoring the EEG the whole time, we can increase slow wave activity, and in so doing, we've shown in a number of cognitive domains we can improve performance.
Wow. So, this is more of a Dave and Mark question. So it's amazing. There's all these reporters here, and they write articles like that. So I'm in the bathroom this morning, look at some articles, and someone mentioned that, this tones that you mentioned is white noise. And I'm like, wait a minute. A lot of my patients always talk about white noise, but correct me if I'm wrong, Dave and Mark, this is no white noise. Can you guys address that?
This is definitely, white noise is something usually to cover up background sounds and whatnot that goes on continuously. The tone we're making lasts 1/20th of a second.
That's it?
Is 1/20th of a second and is very low amplitude.
Okay.
So people rarely are aware that these tones are occurring because they're asleep. The tone is modulated individually to be as loud as it can be, but not wake that individual up.
That is precise.
And so it has no relationship to either playing music when you're trying to go to sleep or playing white noise.
And Dave, get me on this. Many of my patients actually use the terminology white noise incorrectly. That's not like raindrops outside in your refrigerator. It's a very specific thing. But we're also, we had one of our, somebody who used the device today, Melinda, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And I was talking to you outside. In fact, I have a crush on your husband. So, I was going to say, she actually used the device, and I got to say, I got a chance to use it. And it was a little tough for me in the beginning, you know what I mean? But you have a great story. How was your experience with the device?
Yeah, so I've used the device for about 3 months now.
Wow.
And I'm a working mother with 3 children, and so I'm busy throughout the day.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But to be able to get a quality night's sleep and make it through the following day refreshed and alert is really important to me. So
And don't downplay it. I mean, you're a school teacher, right?
Correct.
I mean, you need to be on the A
Middle
game.
school.
Especially with these new kids,
Right,
these millennials
correct.
and everything, But let me just say this, that you mentioned something to me that really struck a tone with me, which is, no pun intended, which is going to be that you were napping, when you're coming home from work.
Right.
And I know the device wasn't meant to prevent napping, but then after you used it, what happened?
I did not feel that I needed a refresher in the afternoon. I didn't need to drink 2 cups of coffee to make it from 5 o'clock until the time I went to bed again, or I didn't need to take a nap to be able to make it through that second part of my day.
That is great.
It's fantastic.
Wow. So let me go back to Dave and Mark again. So if you had to say, who would be the target audience? And I wanted to say this because, I read the device itself and that it's not for everyone, and I have to say we're not going to be targeting certain people. Going back to basic science is that as Dr. Raj gets older, I don't get much N3 delta sleep, if I'm correct. So who are we targeting with this device, you two?
Yeah, so we're really targeting between 18 and 50 year olds. This is the statistic that you saw up there that said 40% of them don't get enough sleep. That's really our target, right? It's that 40%. It's the people who aren't getting what they need, and they're under 7, they're under 6.5 hours, and they know they need more, right? And they're making that choice themselves, like David had said.
Yeah.
This is a choice. It's volitional, right? I need to manage my lifestyle, which is a busy lifestyle, and I just can't get that time. Now, I will say that it's not just a headband, it's also an app that helps you understand that getting more hours actually gives you even more, right? So we're sort of giving that subtle message, but that's currently our target. Now, David, maybe you can speak to the issue of older folks.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you picking on him for saying that?
Yeah.
Because that was very mean right there.
Because I just turned 50, so I'm trying to just point
Dave,
that
you
out.
talk about the old people over there.
it fits. The shoe fits there. The issue is that as you get older, our brain shrinks.
Sure.
And these slow waves get smaller. We have lower amplitude.
Okay.
And right now, the device does not detect the slow waves in particularly men over the age of 50. Because it wasn't designed to do that. We're in the process of working on it to where not only will it be able to apply the tones appropriately in these lower amplitude older people, but it will be able to detect whether you're one of these older people automatically and then change the parameters that are necessary to induce slow waves. So that's all in the works right now. That'll be 2.0 smart sleep. But right now, we don't tell people over 50. We also don't tell people that have a sleep disorder.
That makes sense.
If you've got sleep apnea, you've got insomnia, this is not designed for you.
That's a great take-home message. So let's have a practical question back to Melinda. So it's a headgear, and I got to say, I always think about my sleep apnea patients. 20 million people in the United States have sleep apnea, and I feel bad when you get that Darth Maul mask you got to wear, you know what I'm saying? So when you wore the headgear, how did it feel for you?
I felt like Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
All right. No, I think at first it was a little awkward because it wasn't something I was used to.
Right.
But now I equate it to having a blanket when I sleep. You don't always need a blanket, but it's comforting to you. So whether or not I sink the next day and see what my data shows, I wear it regardless. So the benefits outweigh any initial...
Any little cosmetic discomfort or anything like
adjustments that you
I have to point out that she told me, she's still in the study, and she told me she doesn't want to give it back, so she's threatening to steal it.
I don't.
So.
I think after this, Phillips could afford to give her a free device. I think they could do that. Let's talk about evolution. You know what I mean? It's just amazing where sleep has been and where it's going. I think we've all grown up with some of the classic phrases, I could sleep when I'm dead, the early bird gets to worm. It's all like wearing sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. And as it's kind of, it's evolution, we're here now. We're manipulating stages of sleep and optimizing it. Is this where we're going? What is the next step after this? This is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how it's happened. I mean, I think what we want to do, though, also is create that dialogue and understand, create that awareness. I mean, look, we've gotten ourselves into a bit of a hole here.
Yeah.
Right? We do wear sleeplessness like a badge of courage. Like when someone emails us from work at 2 a.m., we don't go say, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
We say, "Oh, well, she's a really good worker."
Right.
I think we need to change that dialogue. And so we're committed to helping people understand the reality around sleep, but we also understand our current context is a reality.
Yeah.
And so we have to kind of bridge those two.
I mean, and I tell you, we're not trying to get people to sleep less.
Okay.
That is not our goal in life. We want people to sleep longer. The app will try to get them to sleep longer.
Of course.
But it's been my experience. I'm a sleep doctor. And I have thousands of patients I follow over the years.
Yes.
You tell them to sleep more, and they don't do it. They do not sleep more. And so if we can make the sleep more restorative or more efficient in a shorter period of time in society with its doing what it's doing, I think that's a step in the right direction.
Oh, 100%. And I think one thing we were talking about in the hallway is that your passion of taking the behavioral changes, taking simple exercise, taking sleep. And you're right, sleep is one of the 5 vital signs, you know what I mean? I think we focus on diet and exercise, but there's a whole 8 hours at night. And I think Phillips and you and seeing patients, we together are going in the right direction. So this is very, very just amazing to have this technology out there.
I said the other day, I've said a lot of times, on a day-to-day basis, what differentiates how well they feel on a given day is how well they slept. It's not did they exercise, it's not what they ate the day before, it's how well they slept.
Yes.
And if you can get people to have better days because they sleep more consistently well, that's a step in the right direction.
I agree. Nothing good ever happens when you're sleep deprived. I think all of us could say that whether it's our immune system, whether it's cognitive function, our memory, nothing happens. If we could take that same time frame and maximize it, that is amazing. So let me ask you one last thing, Melinda. Is your husband trying to steal your sleep device?
He is, yes, he is.
Go figure.
I know. I have to hide it better.
So I think for this, I mean, I can't even imagine what's going to happen next year when we're back here. And it's amazing how sleep is such ingrained when we talk about all this new technology that's coming out. And when we talk about what is going to be your prediction, where we're going to be here next year, what are we going to be doing, what are we going to be talking about when we come back again?
It's hard for me to predict. I've only been 3 years at CES, and I can't say I can predict anything really well. But I can tell you, I think you're going to see more startups in sleep. I think you're going to see more companies really getting into it. I know that what you're going to see from us is a growth toward solving the problem and not just monitoring the problem.
Of course.
And that's a commitment that you have from us as a company. And that's a reason I work for this company.
No, I agree. And it's so hard to find the right technology because it is a double-edged sword. And I think that we all can say that part of us are always going to say, if you want to get good sleep, put technology away. And I think this is what makes this so unique is that finally we do have medicine and science coming together. And what's the theme of it? To make a better alarm clock?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or don't hit the
Right.
snooze button.
Right.
But I think we're doing that, and we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, no, and they're not drugs that do this now.
Yes.
People have
That's
tried,
true.
and the drugs to increase slow wave activity don't work very well, and they can hang you over and cause as many problems as they help. So it's nice to have a device that when you turn it off, you're back to where you were, and you don't have any residual effects. So.
And you definitely struck a nerve there because sedative hypnotics, you know what I mean? I don't want to go too askew, but you're right. Society, whether it's going to be diphenhydramine and Benadryl or Ambien, we don't want that. And I think this is great that we're doing this. It kind of goes under that cognitive behavioral therapy that we like to teach, but now we have more weapons and tools about it.
Right.
Very good.
Great.
Well, anyways, I hope you guys catch us around. If you see me walking around, come up to me. I would love to answer any questions as well as everyone else. Give me a hand of applause. So thank you very much for being up here.
Thank you.